So we continue lessons from the Masterpieces of Irish Crochet Lace, and the motif that we're going to crochet is on page 10. It's a second wheel and the picture 15 and 16. So this is how it will look like, and this is what we're going to crochet today. So if you follow directions with me in the book, it says that you have to make 20 plain stitches. Plain stitches, we already know it's single crochet stitches in our modern literature, and they are made over the triple packing cord, triple cord or triple packing cord. So I use a handle of an old crochet hook. It has a diameter of 5 millimeters. So if you don't have something like that, you can just use a knitting needle 4 or 5 millimeters in diameter. So wrap the thread for the packing cord 3 times over the needle and take it off. Add working thread. For working thread you can use whatever thread you want, you can, or you have. I use DMC Peddler Cotton number 8 and crochet hook 0.75 millimeters. So the first thing we do is we have to attach and secure our working thread. We do that with a slip stitch. After that we will crochet, as it says, 20 single crochet stitches over the triple cord. So our cord is made wrapped around 3 times, and we're ready to crochet 20 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I will stop here for a second and tell you this, that you probably will end up having a ring a little bit bigger in diameter than you need. So it is easily can be fixed by pulling on the packing cord on both sides, on the short tail or on the longer tail. But be careful when you pull on it. Do it slowly and carefully so that your ring will not be too tight, too small. Also, if you notice, I crochet over the short tail of the working thread. Later I will just cut this off because we'll crochet over it and at the same time weaving this thread in, and you don't have to worry about that thread later. So let's continue. So we have 10 stitches, we need still 10 more. So we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And now please pay attention. We need to close the ring with a slip stitch and make chain 1. This is how we'll finish this round. But before we will do that, I will stretch my stitch so that I will not lose it. Secure the thread and find a long tail from the packing cord, this one. Hold this together and turn your ring on the back. So here you see a short tail of the working thread and the short tail of the packing cord thread, you can cut those two off. You don't need them anymore. They're secured with your 20 stitches that you just crocheted. After that, you continue crochet, and you have to make a slip stitch to close the ring, and also you have to add a chain one. Chain one is needed for the height of the next round. But in the book, they crochet over the single cord. I found it not very nice looking motifs. I need more to add more volume to your motif, 3D look. So I always add extra packing cord. And how I do that, I will show you. So you pick up a packing cord, cut cord for this motif 25 inches and fold it in half. Fold it in half. So we will add additional cord. Instead of crocheting over the single one, you can try it, but you just continue crochet as if there's nothing else there. But I will add extra here. So at first, find the stitch, the first stitch, insert hook in there. The packing cord that already exists we have here on the hook, and the loop of the cord, packing cord that you want to add, hang it on a hook, hold it, and make slip stitch. Pull thread through all these loops, through the stitch and the last stitch that you had on the hook. And now you can make chain one. By making slip stitch and chain one, your packing cord is secured, it will not wobble, it will not move anywhere. And now you have your added packing cord. I have here 3 triple cord. You can add more if you want. So we're ready to make a second round. For the second round, we need to make at first single crochet stitch into the first stitch of the ring. So here's our first stitch of the centerpiece, and what we will do, we insert hook into both loops of the stitch and over the packing cord. And I think I insert my hook in the right place. Here it is. And over the packing cord, make single crochet stitch. Next step, we need to make 14 single crochet stitches over the packing cord only. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If it is easier for you to create out of packing cord sort of like a loop and crochet over this, you can do this way, or you can hold this part, I hold it with my fingers of the right hand, and crochet this way. So I have 4 stitches, continue. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. After that, pull on a packing cord to create a scallop, arch, scallop, loop. In the book they call it a scallop. I call it arch. So pull on the cord so that this part will become round. And you can pull quite tight, so, a lot, so that your stitches will be tight on this, on the cord. After that, we have to skip 3 stitches on the, let me zoom a little bit that you could see probably stitches much better. So, skip 3 stitches on the center, 1, 2, 3, and make single crochet stitch over the packing cord into the ring. Make sure that this single crochet stitches that you're going to make into the centerpiece are nice and tight. They need to be tight to hold your packing cord in place. And one more time, stop here and pull on a cord. And again. Repeat from this place 14 single crochet stitches over the packing cord only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Again, stop for a moment, pull on the cord to create arch with your stitches, and connect this packing cord with stitches to the center ring. So we're again counting, skipping 1, 2, 3 and into the 4th stitch. Insert hook into both loops of the stitch and over the packing cord, making single crochet stitch. And make sure to check so that those arches or scallops are going to be the same size. So pull on the cord again, make sure that they are the same. So I made 2 arches. You have to continue crochet and make 3 more. There are a total of 5 of them in this flower. I will grab my prepared piece and we can continue together. I also did not tell you that it will be probably easy for you if you will add marker in your work every time you begin the round. Every time you make chain 1, place on the chain 1 marker. If you don't have markers like this, they are really fine. The needle is really fine, so really good for fine crochet. If you don't have something like that, you can use just a thread of a different color so that you can see this thread. So my marker is in the chain 1. We need this chain 1 and you will see in a minute why we need it. So here's that marker. Here's my 5th, the last arch that I made, or scallop. And if you read in the book, you have to make a slip stitch into the last stitch of the center piece of this ring. So now you have to drop your packing cord, you don't need this anymore, and you make a slip stitch in your last stitch of the centerpiece, that 20th stitch. It must be a slip stitch, so be very careful, make it nice and tight. And before you do anything else, let's fix this last scallop. We have to pull on a cord a little bit, just to make sure that it is the same size as the other 4 scallops. Don't worry if your work will be a little bit uneven at first and have this ruffle effect. It will be all normalized after you finish the last round, the 2nd round, and you can always block your stitches, block your motif, spray it with water and block it. Steam it a little bit instead of making it wet, the way you prefer. Now, this is where our chain 1, where this marker, this is when I can take the marker off. I don't need this anymore. And keep packing cord behind for a while, and for the second round you have to make slip stitches, 2 slip stitches into the first stitches of the first scallop. So finding our first stitches, make slip stitch 1 and a second one, 1 more slip stitch. There we have it. After that we make chain 1, and again, if you like, for me it's easier to place marker. We will need it again later. Just drop it in the back, make sure it's not stretching your last first stitch, or chain 1. After that, pick up again your packing cord, and this time we will crochet around the scallops. Next round, it's round number 2. Pick up packing cord and into the first scallop, into the back loops only, make first 2 single crochet stitches. Since you're working with really fine thread, you will need magnifiers or magnifying glass that you can attach to your table to see better what you're making. 2 single crochet stitches, then we make picot. Picot is made of chain of 3, and then you connect this chain with a slip stitch. After that we make again over the packing cord, insert hook into the back loops. Make first next 3 stitches, 3 single crochet stitches. And be careful not to poke your fingers with those fine hooks, which is very easy to do. So I made 3 stitches, 3 single crochet stitches, again picot. If it's not easy for you to make slip stitch for the picot to close it, you can make single crochet stitch instead. I found it very easy to make single crochet stitch, much easier than slip stitch. And again 3 more single crochet stitches. Remember, crochet into the back loops, 2 and 3. Again picot. If picots are too small, you think that chain 3 is not enough, you want longer picot, you can make it longer. The longest picot probably make 4 or 5 stitches, not longer than that. Again slip stitch here, and finish the scallop with 2 more single crochet stitches. 1 and 2. I will stretch my last stitch, and I would recommend you to take care of your packing cord. Make sure that when you look on the back you don't see packing cord through the stitches. So to adjust packing cord, all you need to do, just take strand by strand and pull on it a little. Next, if you follow directions in the book, after the last 2 stitches, single crochet stitches, you need to skip 5 stitches at the indentation between 2 scallops. So here we're counting 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next stitch of the scallop, and a 3rd stitch in the back loop, and over the packing cord make single crochet, and again follow the same pattern, 2 single crochet stitches. So 1, then another one, and again the same way repeat the pattern, 2 single crochet stitches we already made, picot, 3 single crochet stitches, picot, 3 single crochet stitches, picot, 2 single crochet. Again skip 5 stitches between, by indentation between 2 scallops, and crochet next scallop. And at the very end I will show you how to finish this motif. I will grab my prepared piece. You can stop the video to finish this round. So here we are. I made all my 5 scallops, all of them. We have our last 2 stitches here, and after last 2 stitches of the last scallop, you can drop your packing cord on the back of your motif, and you will have to make slip stitch into the space where we have our marker. So I can remove this marker. You can really see very good now stitch where it is. You can insert hook into both loops of the stitches, of the stitch. You can use one loop, back loop, probably let's do the back loop. And in that stitch make slip stitch. So you see that our packing cord is not involved anymore. Pull on a thread, and that's it. This is all to it. After that, turn your motif on the back and make sure to take care of this packing cord. And I already showed in the first videos and in the video tutorials how to take care of this part. So you sew over the packing cord with the working thread a little bit, like 5-7 millimeters. Then you can cut cord and weave in your working thread. And this motif is finished after you will make one more round, a button, the same way as the centerpiece, only this button is made with picots, 20 single crochet stitches with 5 picots that's separated by 4 single crochet stitches. And when you will sew it, make sure that you sew it and your picots are seen in those little arches, in those scallops, the places that you can see through. So you need those small scallops filled with picot right in here, and you just sew both of them together.